What's up, guys? Back on the K10. Got the frame here. I mixed me up a little degreaser. First thing I'm gonna do is spray some degreaser on it, get it cleaned up a little bit, and I got a pressure washer too, so we'll get this degreaser on first, let it soak, and then we'll hit it with the pressure washer and see how much of this junk and gunk we can knock off. It's on there pretty thick. Ready to get to work, dog? Looks pretty good. I'm a little filthy. It'll be alright. Show y'all, it came out pretty nice. Of course, we'll clean it all up with wire wheel and, you know, grinder, sander. But that old pressure washer did this thing a lot of good. You just want to play. here's what I'm thinking, guys. Best I can tell, this needs to be 1 5/8. This hole. I found me a little piece of scrap pipe that's 1 5/8. So what I'm thinking is I can drop it in here and use this pipe to help me build up my weld a little bit, maybe, and then maybe cut it out. I don't know. Wish I had a piece of aluminum pipe this size. That'd be perfect because it wouldn't stick. But, and then I can go back in with a die grinder and clean it up. I don't know, I'm thinking, you know, I want to get the hole back as close as I can to their proper size. So, I like these welding kicks. It's the old Walmart welders, baby. I'm not a big boot guy, so I go to Walmart and get these things for like $20. And you know, when your slag drops off, it doesn't burn through and sit there and cook in your damn shoe, like when you wear regular tennis shoes or whatever, flip-flops. Pro tip for y'all. I just had a better idea. Found a piece of pipe with an ID of 1 5/8. So what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna clean it up first, cut a little sliver, stick it on the bottom side, weld it up, and if I need to go back in and flush it off, that's what I'll do. But I might be able just to leave a little lip down there. I don't know. I haven't ever built a square body. I don't know what these mounts are like. We'll find out whenever we get to that point, I guess. So we'll clean this up real quick. Alright, so here's what we got, guys. I cut this out, cleaned it up. What I'm thinking is I'll come in under here, and now I know what I need to fill. I can weld this piece in, and it just kind of adds a little extra rigidity to this. So yeah, let me get to it. Gonna call that good on that. So working on down this frame rail. This shock, rear shock, looks like it needs some loving. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but right here, the frames, this bolt is busting through the frame. The whole frame's torn. So I'm gonna have to get this off and then get that back leveled up, welded up. So a couple little pieces here. There was like a little triangle that blew out. Same thing here. It used to just be a circle. I'm gonna have to fill it back in. I'll clean it up, then fill it back in. Make sure we still got a good shock hole in the middle. So yeah, let me get to it. Got that all fixed up. Next thing is I got a bolt from the bed I need to cut off, and then I'm getting rid of these and I'm going to replace them with an off-road design shackle flip that'll give me the 4-inch lift so that I can run some new factory springs, try and keep my spring a little flatter, help with the axle wrap in the rear. And then I'm also going to clean all this up. I may add a plate to the inside since it's got so many holes. And then I can just drill it out later for bumper brackets. So let me get to it. Got some plate here. I'm gonna make a couple pieces to fit inside of here. It's just the frames, it's not completely rotten back here, but they have just done so much cutting and welding over the years. This side's terrible. It's just missing all kind of stuff. So I figure I just put a plate on the inside, weld it in, flatten this back out, help add some rigidity back here again and give me something to mount a bumper to. This is our next order of business. They welded that crack, but I think I'm gonna get it welded better and then also fish plate it across the top here. And then I'm gonna cut this off. It doesn't look very thick. So I'm gonna cut this off and come up with something better. My wife's out here working too. Cleaning up an old table. I gotta catch y'all up a little bit, guys. Camera battery died on me the other night. So Bub came over, my nephew. We flipped the frame over, and up by the steering box, it had the typical K10 frame damage where the steering box attaches to the frame. So I had already cleaned up the plate that they had on there, and when we flipped it, found a little bit more damage on the bottom. So I made another fish plate and started working on that. I'll show y'all here in a sec. I'm gonna finish welding that this morning, and then hopefully get this frame cleaned up and lay some primer down. So let me show y'all what we got going on. So it had a crack like here and here, and that piece of metal really didn't even look that great. So I just actually cut that piece out, welded us in a new piece of steel, ground it down smooth, and then laid this plate over. Again, I got to finish welding it this morning, so I'm going to get on that. No, I'm not a master fabricator, but, you know, it works. It's all that matters to me. So, let me get to it. These holes are a little wallered out. I'm gonna make a like a weld washer, something to add a little support out of some 1/4-inch plate and weld it in there. That way they don't waller out any worse than they already are. That's the front leaf spring hangers. So let me get on that real quick. Alright, got them babies cut. I'm just gonna go open these center holes up to 1/2 inch now. That's the size of the bolt that goes through the spring hanger. So open it up, and then I'll clean them up and weld them in. Got her all cleaned up. So I'm gonna put some wax and grease remover, wipe this thing down, and we're gonna lay some primer on it. I'm gonna use this Rust-Oleum primer as a base. Lay that down first, then we'll put some Rust-Oleum black paint over it. Just make sure it grips good and doesn't want to just come right off. I'll thin it out with these mineral spirits too. Got to mix up a little more. Almost had enough. Might should have mixed it a little thinner, but it'll be okay. Just primer. Baby looks 100 times better, doesn't it? And that's just some primer. She's gonna be nice. I'm gonna do a gloss black for the paint. Let me go clean this gun up, let this dry, have to flip it, coat the top side since it's upside down right now, and then we'll be ready for some paint after all of that's dry. So, see y'all. Alright guys, finally that time. We're gonna lay some paint down. I'm gonna use this Rust-Oleum. Told y'all about it the other day. It's gloss black. So let me get it mixed up, thin it out a little bit, and then we'll get to spraying. I think we're supposed to thin it with acetone. Yep, acetone. All right, let's get after it. I'm using a 1.4 tip for the paint. I used a 1.8 for that primer earlier. I might need to thin this a little more. I'm gonna go thin it down a little bit. It's coming out a little thick. And then I'll be back and we'll lay it down. All right. That'll be better now. Well guys, that's all I got time for today, but that was a fun project. I've got to flip it still and hit the bottom, but we've got this bad winter weather coming, so, and I've got to go back to work and be at work for the winter weather, so I'm not sure when I'll get to flip it, so I'll just go ahead and post this and we'll call it good. I got a bunch of parts that came in for the front end and rear end axles. I've got all that sitting in here ready to go. So that'll probably be the next project. I'll tear down the front axle and pressure wash it, and I'm gonna prime and paint it, same thing as this. So rebuild it. I got new hubs, new bearings, you know, the works. So all that, and I've got the crossover steering kit too, the flat top knuckle for the passenger side. So we'll convert that over. Just a little something to do for after, now that this is done, and we'll work on the axles like I said. So I'll see y'all in the next one.